You know that moment, right? You're in the kitchen. You crack an egg into a hot pan. Sometimes it glides around like it's on an ice rink. Other times it just sticks, like it's super glued to the metal. So what's the deal? Well, it's not some kind of kitchen magic. It's actually an incredible piece of chemistry and engineering. So yeah, why does this happen? The answer is hiding at a microscopic level. It's basically a tiny battle between things that want to bond and a special material that's designed to be completely, totally uninterested. Let's get into the science of the slide.
Okay, so let's break it down. On one side, you've got your normal pan. Stainless steel, cast iron, you know the type. To us, it looks perfectly smooth. But if you could zoom way in, it's actually a landscape of tiny little mountains and valleys. And chemically, it's kind of needy. It actively wants to grab onto the proteins in your food and form bonds. Now, the non-stick pan, it's the exact opposite. Its surface is engineered to be incredibly flat. And more importantly, it's chemically aloof. It just refuses to connect with anything. So what is this secret ingredient that makes it all possible? What's the magic stuff that turns a sticky mess into a perfect slide? Well, let's pull back the curtain on the super material at the heart of it all.
Okay, get ready for this one. Polytetrafluoroethylene. Yeah, it's a mouthful. Let's just call it PTFE. You almost certainly know it by its famous brand name, Teflon. This material is the absolute star of our show, and its big claim to fame is having one of the lowest coefficients of friction known to man. That's really just a fancy scientific way of asking, how slippery is it? And for PTFE, the answer is very. So what gives PTFE its superpower? Well, it's all about its atomic structure. It's built with these incredibly strong carbon-fluorine bonds. These are some of the toughest bonds in organic chemistry. They form this tight, non-reactive shield around the entire molecule. It's almost like it has its own personal force field, pushing away anything that tries to get close. And because of that powerful force field, PTFE is what scientists call chemically inert. That just means it doesn't react with stuff. Not the acid in your tomatoes, not the oil in the pan, nothing. It's the ultimate introvert of the chemical world. It's just completely unbothered by everything around it. This don't bother me attitude also means it's both hydrophobic, which means it repels water, and oleophobic, which means it repels oil. Now think about that. It pushes away both water and oil. That is the perfect combination for a cooking surface, right? It shoves away the very things that make food stick in the first place. And get this. This is the really wild part. PTFE isn't just a little slick. It is one of the absolute slipperiest solid materials ever discovered by science. To put that in perspective, it actually has less friction than a block of wet ice sliding on another block of wet ice. That's how slippery we're talking about. Okay, but hold on a second. A thought probably just popped into your head, right? If this stuff is so slippery that literally nothing sticks to it, how in the world do they get it to stick to the pan itself? That's a great question, and the answer is a really clever bit of engineering. The process actually starts by doing the complete opposite of what you'd think. First, they rough up the metal surface of the pan. They literally sandblast it to create all these tiny little nooks and crannies for the coating to mechanically grip onto. Then a special primer goes on. Think of it like an industrial-strength double-sided tape. After that, they spray on the PTFE, usually in multiple layers. The more layers, the more durable the pan, which is why modern pans last so much longer. And finally, the whole thing gets baked at over 400 degrees Celsius to lock it all together into one seamless, super slick surface. So we've talked about the material and how the pan is made, but there's one core scientific idea that explains everything. This is the real aha moment. It's the single most important principle behind why nonstick works at all. After all of that complex chemistry and manufacturing, what is it on the most fundamental level that stops that egg from grabbing hold of the pan? The answer is a concept called surface energy. The easiest way to think about it is as a surface's will to stick. A material with high surface energy, like plain old metal, is just desperate to bond with anything it touches. But a material with low surface energy, it's perfectly happy by itself. It wants nothing to do with other molecules. And this chart just says it all. I mean, look at these numbers. Stainless steel has a massive surface energy, over 200. It is super clingy. Even water is up there at 72. But now look all the way down at the bottom. There's PTFE at just 18. It has practically zero desire to bond with anything. And that right there is the fundamental reason your egg slides instead of sticks. Okay, science lesson over.
So how do we take all this cool knowledge about polymer chemistry and actually use it to stop ourselves from ruining our expensive pans? Let's make this practical.
All right, here are the villains, the top 5 non-stick killers. First, the obvious one, metal utensils. You're literally scratching away that precious layer of science. Extreme high heat is another big one, especially if the pan is empty. It can cause the coating to break down. Then you've got abrasive scrubbies and harsh dishwasher detergents, which just wear the surface away. And finally, a sneaky one, baked on oil. It creates its own sticky film right on top of your nonstick surface, completely defeating the purpose.
But the good news is the solutions are super simple. Just be gentle. Use tools made of wood, silicone, or nylon. Cook on low to medium heat, that's the sweet spot for nonstick anyway. When you clean it, use a soft sponge, and you really should hand wash it to protect that coating. A little bit of oil is also a good idea, as it can help fill in any microscopic wear and tear and keep things sliding perfectly. And let's quickly clear up something you've probably heard about, the safety question. It is so important to know the difference between two things, PTFE and PFOA. PTFE is the nonstick coating itself, the good stuff. It's stable and considered safe for normal cooking. PFOA was a chemical used in the past to help make the coating. That chemical has been phased out for years. It is not present in the modern nonstick pans you buy today.
So the next time you're cooking and that egg slides right out of the pan without a fight, just take a second. You're not just making breakfast, you're interacting with this incredible piece of material science. It's a marvel of polymer chemistry and precision engineering hiding in plain sight. And it really makes you wonder, right? What other bits of everyday magic are just science we haven't stopped to look at yet?